The turkey pardon had barely happened, Laura. It was barely finished when Jill Biden went out to receive the White House Christmas tree.
No, I mean, that's a quickie.
That was Fox News last night. After years of complaining that the left is waging a war on Christmas, now they're complaining that the left is doing, get this, too much Christmas. The First Lady welcoming the official tree this weekend. What exposes the bad faith attacks and the abject hypocrisy in all of this is that just hours before Laura Ingraham went after the Biden White House, this was the scene on Fox News.
Welcome to another epic year of the all-American tree lighting here on Fox Square.
I support celebrating Christmas 365 days a year.
Merry Christmas to the five.
Santa is here.
Whoa, Santa.
That's right. Fox thinks Biden is jumping the gun on Christmas, while at the exact same time, Fox is also wishing you a Merry Christmas. Get ready for a lot more Biden derangement syndrome on the right as the new GOP majority prepares to take power in the House. During the midterms, remember, they promised to tackle inflation and to fix America's woes. But here's what they're really focused on instead.
Hunter Biden isn't this innocent guy. We're not trying to prove Hunter Biden is a bad actor. He is.
Is impeachment on the table?
You know what's on the table? Accountability.
I just introduced articles of impeachment on President Joe Biden.
I think Joe Biden deserves to be impeached.
Joining me now is Congressman Khanna, Democrat from California who serves on the powerful Oversight Committee. Congressman, thank you for joining us this evening. Look, having folks like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Jim Jordan, and other extremists in pole positions of Congress almost guarantees total havoc being wreaked. What kind of insanity and gridlock can we expect beginning in the 118th Congress?
Well, Katie, you're absolutely right. The Republicans ran on tackling inflation, on helping our economy, but they have no plan. All they've been talking about is investigating the administration, investigating the president's personal family members who have no role in the administration or White House. And it's not what voters signed up for. It's going to be incredibly frustrating, and it will backfire on the Republicans.
To your point, Congressman, only 28% of voters, 28% of voters want Congress to investigate Hunter Biden or to focus on impeachment of the president. What happened to the GOP's promises about fixing inflation and helping Americans be in a better place than they have been the past 2 years? I mean, the midterms, they were just only a couple of weeks ago.
Well, Katie, look, what Americans want is to figure out how do we deal with the price of gas? How do we deal with the price of food? If the economy slows, how are we going to bring manufacturing jobs back? That's what the Democrats are for, an economic vision. We haven't heard the Republican plan. Then you had Kevin McCarthy take a group of Republicans to the border, and Geraldo Rivera had the courage to point out if he really was interested in solutions, why not take a bipartisan group? Democrats have a plan for securing the border and comprehensive immigration reform. Republicans just have talking points. They have no real solutions.
I'm glad you bring up Kevin McCarthy because if, and it's still a big if, by the way, he becomes a speaker, he's not exactly a profile in courage. How is he going to juggle the pressures from that far-right MAGA wing of the party and then the pressures of the more moderate, I'll use that in quotes, moderate Republicans who won in competitive races because they rejected the extremism?
He's going to have a real challenge, and the real question is whether Republican speakers will outlast British prime ministers. But the challenge is in the past they used to come running to Speaker Pelosi, and Speaker Pelosi used to get them the votes. I don't know what they're going to do without Speaker Pelosi, but you look at what happened with Boehner and Ryan. When they had tough votes, they came to Pelosi, and Pelosi got them the votes.
There's been a lot of focus, and understandably so, this week on how extremist rhetoric can lead to actual violence. Do you think GOP leaders have a responsibility to actively attempt to curb, if not completely eliminate, this kind of speech? Let me be clear, Congressman, I am an advocate for the First Amendment, but you and I both know there's going to be a limit to it.
I'm an advocate for the First Amendment, too, but the First Amendment does not protect speech that incites violence. It does not protect speech that incites illegal racial discrimination. Under Brandenburg, that's not protected. And yes, the Republicans have a responsibility, but candidly, we all have a responsibility to choose our words wisely and to understand that just because something is protected speech does not mean that that's speech that's good for democracy, that's good for our country.
Representative, let's get down to brass tacks here. You've got a House majority with the GOP. How do you empower the Democrats when they're in the minority to actually tune out the white noise, the cacophony of the white noise of the GOP, and actually be able to get to work for the American people?
We need to focus on our agenda. Just today, I read 1,000 jobs coming to Tennessee because of the Inflation Reduction Act on battery manufacturing. We need to make sure the Inflation Reduction Act is properly implemented. The CHIPS Act, bringing semiconductor manufacturing back, that is implemented. We need child care for everyone. I've proposed no working family should pay more than $10 a day. We need to put our ideas forward, put legislation. Now, if the Republicans vote it down or don't allow it to come to the House, that'll be evident to the American people, but we need to focus on doing the people's work.
I got less than a minute. Last question to you, Congressman. Is there a way for the minority Democrats to be able to reach across the aisle and find some type of consensus with those moderate Republicans that are now going to be in the House majority?
Katie, we will try. I passed the CHIPS legislation with Republicans, and that was about bringing semiconductor manufacturing back. I will look for ways to work with them on bringing production back, on helping make sure America leads the clean tech economy, on making sure we have comprehensive immigration reform. The question is just, are they interested in debating the ideas and legislating, or do they want to spend 2 years investigating the president? Investigating the president is not only not solving people's problems, it's also not smart politically. But the choice is really theirs.
Congressman Khanna, I, for one, am grateful that you're keeping your eye on the ball. Thank you for joining us tonight, and a happy Thanksgiving to you.
Thank you, Katie. Happy Thanksgiving.